Chosen one. Listen carefully. Heaven has paused your scrolling, your distractions, and even the wandering thoughts of your heart, to tell you something urgent. You are not here by accident. You are not like the rest. The first 3 days of September are unlike any other window in time, and your response in those days will mark the trajectory of your next season. This is not about chance. This is not about the calendar of men. This is heaven's alarm sounding directly for you. Why silence? Why would God call his chosen ones into a season of stillness, of keeping the tongue restrained, of holding back when the world shouts? Because silence is a weapon. It is not weakness, it is war strategy. In the first 3 days of September, while the earth celebrates routine and the world enters another month, blind and distracted, heaven calls the chosen to be set apart. You, God's chosen one, are commanded to seal your lips, to hold your ground, and to listen instead of speaking. Do not underestimate what silence does. Every careless word you might speak is recorded. Every idle sentence carries weight. And in this coming season, the enemy waits to use your own words against you. Silence, therefore, becomes your protection. It becomes your covering. Heaven is warning you. If you leak your vision, if you argue with fools, if you waste your breath on the wrong people, you may lose the crown prepared for you. The Spirit is whispering, do not waste your first words of September on the trivial. Chosen one, your silence is a sacrifice, and God receives it as holy. Think of it like this: when you do not speak, your heart listens. When you close your mouth, your spirit opens. These first 3 days are not about shutting down your voice permanently. They are about cleansing the channel through which your prophetic words will flow. On the 4th day, the prophet Isaiah proclaimed in the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." If God is with you, then silence is not abandonment, it is alignment. He stands with you in your stillness, even as the world cannot understand why you suddenly withdraw. You have been misunderstood, rejected, mocked, and doubted. But those very trials were training you for this. Every tear you cried was proof that you were being separated from the noise of the crowd. You are not here to blend in. You are here to set the atmosphere. September begins with silence because the rest of the month requires power. And power is only given to those who obey in hidden places. Listen closely. This is not a coincidence. This is divine intervention. If you break the silence of the first 3 days, you forfeit the blessing tied to them. But if you obey, if you consecrate those days, then your voice after silence will be thunderous. It will carry authority that shifts the spiritual climate around you. And let this be a warning. There are people who will test you. They will provoke you into arguments. They will bait you into conversations. They will try to pull confessions out of you about what you plan, what you dream, what you carry. But remember, the serpent has always wanted to twist the words of the chosen. In your silence, the traps of the enemy collapse. In your silence, the accuser loses legal ground. Beloved, do not mistake stillness for weakness. You are not withdrawing in fear. You are advancing in wisdom. The silence of the chosen is thunder in the spirit realm. Angels lean close, demons scatter, and heaven records your obedience. The enemy fears your silence more than your noise. because silence keeps you aligned, while noise opens doors you never intended to unlock. September is not just another month. It is the beginning of a reshaping, a repositioning, and a releasing of chosen ones into their divine assignments. The silence of the first 3 days is the ignition key. When you obey, you position yourself to receive scrolls of wisdom, blueprints of destiny, and clarity that no distraction could ever give you. This message is your confirmation. Do not argue with it. Do not postpone it. Do not explain it away as coincidence. Heaven has chosen you to hear it, and heaven expects your obedience. You are a warrior in disguise, and your silence is the sharpening of your sword. Beloved chosen one, if this message is piercing your spirit, I want you to act in faith right now. Do not let this word pass you by without sealing it. Show heaven that you hear. Show the enemy that you will obey. And show your own soul that you are ready. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss the messages appointed for you. And then mark your agreement in the comments with the prophetic number 999. Chosen one. Now that you have heard the alarm of heaven, you must understand the weight of the silence you are being commanded to keep. This is not an empty ritual. This is not superstition. This is divine order. The first 3 days of September are not ordinary days. They are consecrated, set apart, and stamped with divine significance. The silence required of you is not just about your mouth, it is about your spirit, your focus, and your alignment with the purposes of God. You live in a world addicted to noise, the voices of others, the chatter of social media, the debates, the endless streams of opinions. Everything around you is designed to pull your attention outward, but heaven is pulling your attention inward and upward. Silence is heaven's strategy to strip you from the crowd and tune you into the frequency of the Spirit. Do you know why silence weighs so heavily in these days? Because every spoken word is like a seed, and in the beginning of September, the soil of time is extremely sensitive. If you plant careless words, you reap storms later. If you plant faithless words, you create delays. If you gossip, complain, or argue, you sow destruction into your next season. But if you withhold words, if you guard your tongue, then you keep the soil pure, ready for holy seed when the time is right. Chosen one. Silence is not just about keeping quiet, it is about learning to hear. Many pray, but few pause to listen. Many cry out to God, but then fill the silence with their own noise. The Lord is saying, for these first 3 days, hush your tongue so you can finally hear what I have been whispering to you. Silence is the gateway to revelation. Think of how Jesus himself often withdrew to solitary places to pray. Even the Son of God needed silence to align with the Father's will. How much more do you, the chosen one of this generation, need silence to prepare your heart? Without silence, you risk drowning out the very instructions you need to carry your destiny forward. Remember the word of God that has already been spoken through Scripture in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And what happens when you embrace this silence? You will find a peace that surpasses understanding. You will discover strength rising in your weakness. You will notice a separation happening inside of you, where distractions lose their grip and your soul becomes anchored in God's presence. This silence is not empty, it is full of power. It is not passive, it is active. surrender. But there is more. In these first 3 days, heaven is not just listening to your silence, it is weighing it. Your silence becomes incense rising before the throne, a fragrant offering of obedience. Angels take notice. Demons tremble, because they cannot twist words. You never speak. The courtroom of heaven records your restraint as evidence of loyalty. Do you see it now? The weight of silence is eternal. And here is the mystery. When you silence your own voice, you allow the voice of God to thunder inside you. When you stop fighting to be heard, heaven fights for you. The silence of these 3 days is not about losing your voice, it is about purifying it. The weight of silence is that it holds your destiny steady, keeps your crown polished, and prepares your spirit for the authority you will walk in after this holy period. Beloved chosen one, carry this weight with reverence. Do not take it lightly. Your silence is not weakness, it is warfare. Your silence is not retreat, it is preparation. Your silence is not emptiness, it is fullness in disguise. You are not being punished by silence, you are being prepared through it. You are not being silenced by man, you are being invited by God. The weight you feel is not oppression, it is holy gravity pulling you into deeper alignment with heaven's heartbeat. Remember, these first 3 days are not random. They are appointed. They are prophetic. And your silence during them is the mark of your obedience, your discipline, and your consecration. If you endure this silence, you will walk with greater authority in the days that follow. But if you break it, you may forfeit the blessing it carries. Chosen one, hold fast. The silence may feel heavy, but the glory that follows will be greater. The weight of sacred silence is not a burden, it is a blessing. Chosen one, open your spirit and listen closely. The silence of the first 3 days is not only about guarding yourself, it is also about preparing for the battlefield that cannot be seen with natural eyes. While the world carries on with its routines, there is a clash rising in the unseen realm. Heaven and darkness are in direct contention. And you, the chosen one, stand at the very center of this spiritual storm. Why does God ask for silence? Because the battlefield of September does not begin with swords or armies. It begins with voices. Every word is a weapon. Every sound, a seed. Every declaration, a doorway. In these days, the enemy prowls, searching for the smallest opening, the tiniest slip of the tongue, to twist into chains against you. But when you stay silent, the enemy finds no weapon to use. Silence becomes your invisible armor. This is what many fail to grasp. Your greatest battles are not fought with the hands, but with the tongue. Scripture has long declared that life and death are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. The words you speak either summon angels or invite demons, and in the early days of September, the line between the two is razor thin. You may feel a pressure, a heaviness, as though everything inside you wants to speak. Defend, explain, or retaliate. But this is precisely the test. The silence you keep is not weakness, it is resistance. The enemy cannot fight what he cannot hear. He cannot twist what you do not say. He cannot bind what never leaves your lips. Chosen one, consider this. In the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, it is written, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Do you see the strategy? Stillness is not surrender, it is spiritual warfare. By being silent, You are saying, Lord, I trust you enough to let you fight while I stay hidden in your presence. Now listen carefully. The battlefield of this season is designed to provoke you. People around you may suddenly rise with accusations. Unexpected conflict may surface. Triggers may appear in your family, your workplace, or your relationships. These are not coincidences. They are fiery darts aimed at breaking your silence. But you must remember, the moment you answer with fleshly words, you lose the shield of heaven's covering. The moment you retaliate in anger, you step into the trap. Beloved, you have been chosen to rise above the noise. Your silence is not emptiness, it is a fortress. While others are consumed by arguments, gossip, and vain debates, you stand apart, shielded, guarded, and consecrated. The unseen realm trembles when a chosen one refuses to engage. Your silence is thunder to the enemy. But I must warn you, the enemy thrives on provoking chosen ones to speak before their time. Do not let your emotions dictate your actions. Do not allow your need to be understood, defended, or justified cause you to break this sacred command. For when you hold your peace, you declare that God alone is your defender. The battlefield in these 3 days is intense. But remember, the silence you keep is also a declaration. You are declaring, without words, that you are aligned with heaven's order. You are declaring that your mouth is consecrated, your tongue is holy, your spirit is unshakable. And beloved, after these days, when you finally release your words, they will not be ordinary. They will carry weight, fire, and authority. But this authority is only given to those who pass the test of silence on the battlefield. Now, chosen one, I invite you to seal this in your spirit with a prophetic act. Write in the comments these 3 words. I choose silence. No, do not take this lightly. By typing these words, you are making a declaration in the natural that echoes into the spirit. You are saying to heaven, I submit to your command. You are saying to the enemy, you will not twist my words. And you are saying to yourself, my tongue is not for argument, it is for prophecy. No, let those words be your shield. Let them be your commitment. Do not just read, respond, because your response locks this revelation into your spirit. And when the battle rises on the first 3 days of September, you will remember what you declared. I choose silence. Beloved, chosen one, hear me once more. The war in the unseen realm is real, and it is raging. But you are not unprepared. You are not defenseless. Your silence is your shield, and your obedience is your sword. The battlefield is set, but you are already marked for victory. Stay silent. Stay still. Stay strong. September will reveal who truly belongs to heaven's army, and you will be counted among them. Chosen one. Let us go deeper. You have already seen how silence shields you in the battlefield of the unseen realm. But now, you must understand how dangerous words can become when spoken at the wrong time. The power of withheld words is one of heaven's greatest strategies for your protection. Your voice carries weight, more than you realize, because you are chosen. What you say echoes differently in the spirit than what others say. This is why the enemy is desperate to pull words out of your mouth in the first 3 days of September. He does not need you to curse yourself. He only needs you to speak carelessly so that he can twist it into a curse. And yet, Silence dismantles every trap. When you withhold words, there is nothing for the enemy to twist. When you refuse to argue, there is no fuel for the fire. When you keep your counsel hidden in your heart, you rob the accuser of his evidence. Silence does not only protect you, it confuses darkness. Think about this. Jesus himself often refused to answer his accusers. When questioned before his crucifixion, he kept silent, though he could have spoken with power and defended himself. Why? Because his silence was strategy. Every word he did not say was as powerful as the words he did speak. You, chosen one, are walking in his footsteps when you learn the discipline of withheld speech. Consider the wisdom found in Scripture. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 23, "Those who guard their mouths and their tongues keep themselves from calamity." This is not merely advice, it is a command. Guard your tongue, and you guard your destiny. Open it carelessly, and you open doors to destruction. The enemy is subtle. He does not come boldly waving chains. He comes softly, whispering questions, stirring irritation, creating urgency. He wants you to explain, to defend, to reveal what should remain hidden. But chosen one, remember this: not every truth must be spoken. Not every vision must be shared. Not every answer must be given. Your silence is not deception, it is wisdom. There is great power in mystery. What is hidden cannot be stolen. What is unspoken cannot be corrupted. The first 3 days of September are about preserving the mystery of your calling until heaven gives the command to speak. If you reveal too early, you risk sabotage. If you share prematurely, you risk dilution. But when you wait, when you hold, when you restrain, your words become pure fire at the appointed time. This is why the chosen ones must be misunderstood. People will ask, "Why are you so quiet?" They will accuse you of pride, of secrecy, of coldness. But do not answer. Their misunderstanding is proof of your obedience. Remember, silence is not about pleasing men, it is about obeying God. Your silence in these days is also training for future authority. Kings and queens do not speak to every voice in the crowd. They understand that their words carry decree, and they speak with caution. You are being trained to rule with your tongue, and training always begins with restraint. Imagine a sword in the hands of a child. It would wound more than it would protect. But in the hands of a trained warrior, the sword becomes an instrument of precision. Your tongue is that sword. Silence is your training ground. Withheld words are not weakness, they are sharpening. Chosen one, understand this deeply. Silence is not empty space. It is the womb of destiny. It is where thoughts are purified, where intentions are weighed, where visions are incubated. In silence, your spirit grows strong, your discernment sharpens, and your words gain weight. The first 3 days of September are not about losing your voice, they are about consecrating it. This is why silence feels heavy, because it is pregnant with power. What you withhold today becomes the strength of what you declare tomorrow. The less you spill, the more you carry, the more you restrain, the greater the release. So take this warning seriously. If you waste your words, you weaken your authority. If you scatter your speech, you dilute your power. But if you guard your tongue, you will rise with a voice that carries the thunder of heaven. Chosen one, let your silence be holy. Let your withheld words be your sacrifice. Let your restraint be your shield. The power of withheld words is not just for these 3 days, it is for your entire walk as a chosen one. Speak only when commanded by the Spirit, and you will never regret your words. Chosen one. Silence is not only a shield, it is also a test. The first 3 days of September are heaven's proving ground for the chosen ones. These days are not a punishment, but a classroom. They are the furnace where your obedience is refined. They are the garden where your patience takes root. They are the desert where your discipline is revealed. Heaven does not test you to destroy you. Heaven tests you to reveal what you carry. Think of gold. It looks ordinary when dug out of the earth. Dirt clings to it, and its shine is hidden. Only when it is placed in fire is its true nature revealed. The silence of these days is your fire. God is watching not to condemn you, but to refine you. Will you endure the heat? Will you remain silent when everything in you wants to shout? If you do, your spirit will shine like purified gold. Chosen one. Obedience is not proved in the loud moments when everyone sees. It is proved in the quiet moments when no one is watching. The silence of September is one of those quiet tests. What you do in secret will echo loudly in your destiny. Remember what is written in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 6. When you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father, who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. The Father sees your silence, and He rewards it openly. This test may feel small, but it carries eternal weight. For the chosen, nothing is random. Every pause, every restraint, every withheld word is recorded in heaven. You are proving that your tongue belongs to God, not to impulse. You are proving that your spirit is stronger than your emotions. You are proving that you are not a child, easily provoked, but a warrior disciplined in battle. Do you know what silence reveals? It reveals who you trust. If you trust yourself, you will break silence to defend your image. If you trust others, you will speak to seek their approval. But if you trust God, you will remain silent. Knowing He is your defender, your silence declares your loyalty not to the crowd, not to your critics, but to your King, chosen one. Picture your silence like a seed buried in soil. For days, it looks like nothing is happening. The world mocks the seed, calling it dead. But beneath the soil, roots are forming, strength is being established, life is preparing to break forth. Your silence in the first 3 days of September is exactly that seed. Outwardly, nothing may seem different. Inwardly, everything is shifting. And soon, fruit will be seen by all. Now, let me speak to your heart with sincerity. These messages that you receive are not random content, they are spiritual bread. They are water for the thirsty, light for the weary, direction for the lost. And just as a lamp requires oil to keep burning, this ministry requires support to keep shining. If these words have nourished you, if they have confirmed what your spirit already knew, then consider sowing back into the flow, sharing, liking, and subscribing are not just digital actions, they are ways of saying, I believe in this light, and I want others to find it too. Oh, think of it like a well in the desert. If you drink and are refreshed, would you not point others to the well? Sharing this word is pointing someone else to water they desperately need. Subscribing is saying, I want this well to remain open so I can return and drink again. And donating, beloved, is not payment, it is partnership. It is pouring your own oil into the lamp so that others may see. No amount is too small when it is given with faith. But above all, let your act, whether it is sharing, subscribing, or sowing, be an act of love. Let it come not from pressure, but from gratitude. The silence you are keeping in these days is part of your obedience. Extending support is part of your generosity. Together, both silence and generosity prepare you for the abundance that is about to be released. Chosen one, your test is not meant to break you, it is meant to crown you. When heaven tests, it always intends to reward. If you remain faithful in the small, you will be trusted with the great. If you endure the silence, you will inherit the sound of authority. The crown of obedience is reserved for those who embrace the test, not run from it. Remember this, silence is a seed. Obedience is the soil, and faith is the rain. What you plant in the first 3 days of September will grow into a harvest you cannot yet imagine. Chosen one. Now, the Spirit invites you to gaze deeper into the mystery of numbers. For nothing in God's creation is random. Even time itself carries patterns, and numbers become prophetic signs of heaven's language. The first 3 days of September are not isolated, they are part of a divine sequence, and within them, the number 3 shines as a holy symbol. Why 3? Because 3 is the number of resurrection, the seal of completion, and the pattern of new beginnings. On the 3rd day, Christ rose. On the 3rd day, what seemed buried forever burst forth with glory. In the same way, the first 3 days of September are not about death, they are about resurrection power, preparing to break forth in your life. But the silence of those days is crucial. Without silence, you cannot hear the whispers of resurrection. Without silence, you cannot perceive the holy patterns hidden in time. Chosen one. Your silence is aligning you with heaven's numbering system, and one of the most powerful prophetic numbers tied to this season is 111. Why 111? Because it is a triple witness of unity. It is 1 repeated, 1 multiplied, 1 established. It signifies that what heaven has decreed will not only happen, but will be confirmed and sealed. It is the mark of agreement between God, His Spirit, and His chosen. When you see or declare 111, you are saying, I align with heaven's order. I walk in unity with the divine plan. Do you see the pattern? 1 is the number of God, the singular, the first, the only, the Alpha. To repeat it 3 times is to seal it with resurrection power. 111 becomes a prophetic declaration that the chosen ones are not scattered, but united, not divided, but aligned, not drifting, but ordered by heaven. Remember the psalmist's testimony in the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. This is not coincidence. This is divine numbering. If your steps are ordered, then even the first 3 days of silence are ordered. Even the numbers 111 carry divine weight. Your path is not random. Your journey is marked by heaven. Chosen one. This is why prophetic numbers appear in your life on clocks, on receipts, on sudden signs that catch your attention. They are not accidents. They are messages. Heaven uses numbers to confirm alignment, and 111 is a reminder that your path is straight, your steps are firm, and your silence is not wasted. It is all part of the order. The number 111 also carries a warning. It whispers, "Do not be double-minded. To walk in unity with heaven, you cannot live divided. Your words cannot say one thing while your actions live another. Your heart cannot long for heaven while your tongue serves the world." Silence in these days is purging double-mindedness. It is forcing you to choose one path, one focus, one allegiance. Beloved, when you honor these prophetic patterns, you enter into their blessing. If you see 111 and respond, you are saying to heaven, "I choose alignment." And heaven responds by straightening your path, by silencing confusion, by multiplying clarity. This is the hidden power of numbers when you discern them. They activate alignment in your life. Now hear this. The silence of the first 3 days is linked directly to the prophetic release of numbers like 111. As you close your mouth, you tune your spirit to see what others ignore. Where the blind see coincidence, you see confirmation. Where the world sees digits, you see divine decrees. This is the difference between the chosen and the casual. Your destiny is not casual. Your journey is not random. The silence you keep, the numbers you discern, the patterns you obey, these are proof that you are walking the path of the chosen. And heaven smiles upon those who walk in order. Beloved chosen one, if this word is piercing your heart, then seal it right now with a prophetic act. Comment the number 111 below. Do not treat it as mere digits. Treat it as agreement. By typing 111, you are saying, "I align, I obey, I walk in unity with heaven's plan." You are marking yourself as one who discerns signs and responds. Do not underestimate this act. Many will read and scroll past, but the chosen respond, and by responding, you lock this revelation into your spirit. When September comes, and silence feels heavy, you will remember, "I saw 111, y declaré 111. I am aligned, chosen one." Embrace the silence, honor the number, and trust the order. Heaven is not random. Heaven is precise. And you, the chosen one, are walking in that holy precision. Chosen one, you must understand the deep mystery of silence. It not only shields you, it also breaks chains that have been wrapped around your lineage for generations. The first 3 days of September are not only about you, they are about every curse that tried to pass through your bloodline. Your silence becomes the weapon heaven uses to snap what has been binding your family for years. Generational cycles are often repeated in whispers, the same failures, the same arguments, the same mistakes. They all echo through families like invisible patterns. Words have carried those cycles. A grandfather speaks in anger, and the echo of his anger becomes a seed in the children. A mother's bitterness shapes the speech of her descendants. Over time, curses are repeated not only in action, but in language. Words carry curses like rivers carry stones. This is why silence is so powerful. When you, chosen one, refuse to repeat those patterns with your tongue, the cycle begins to crack. Every word you refuse to speak becomes a barrier between you and what tormented those before you. The enemy expects you to repeat what your ancestors said: complaints, doubts, accusations, bitterness. But when you remain silent, he finds no echo. And without an echo, the cycle breaks. Beloved, think of silence as a wall being built around you. Every withheld word is a brick. Every moment of restraint, a stone. By the end of the first 3 days, a fortress rises. And inside that fortress, curses lose their power. They cannot cross into your destiny because the bridge they used, your words, has been cut off. Scripture confirms this truth. The prophet Joel proclaimed in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25, "I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten." Do you see what was devoured in your family line? What was stolen by curses? What was wasted in years of struggle, God promises to repay, and silence is the preparation for that repayment. By refusing to feed curses with your speech, you make room for restoration. Chosen one. Many in your bloodline failed this test. They spoke when they should have been silent. They cursed themselves by agreeing with darkness. But you are different. You are the one marked to end it. Heaven chose you not just to carry blessings, but to stop curses. And this is why the first 3 days of September are critical. They are your opportunity to stand as the wall, to cut the echo, to silence the cycle. When you remain silent, something unseen is happening. The curses that have been waiting for your agreement are starved. Generational spirits that expected to feed on your words are left empty. The silence becomes famine for them. And in that famine, their grip weakens. Without your participation, their power collapses. Do not underestimate the spiritual violence of your silence. It may look like passivity to the world, but in the unseen, it is a war. Angels, record your restraint. Demons retreat in confusion. The courtroom of heaven marks a new verdict. The curse has no ground, and all of it happens because you kept your tongue still. Chosen one. You are standing at the line of separation. Behind you are generations that fell into the same traps, the same mistakes, the same snares. Ahead of you are generations waiting to be free. The silence of these days is your bridge from bondage to freedom. If you cross, those after you will walk in liberty. If you break, the cycle tries to continue. This is why your obedience matters more than you realize. Think about it. Silence is not just for you. It is for your children, your grandchildren, the future you may never see. When you remain silent, you rewrite the inheritance of your bloodline. Instead of curses, blessings flow. Instead of repeated pain, new patterns of freedom begin. Your silence today is the seed of freedom for tomorrow. Beloved, imagine a chain stretched across centuries. Each link is forged by words spoken in anger, bitterness, or despair. And then, imagine your silence falling like a hammer, breaking the link that connects the past to the future. That is what heaven sees when you obey. One act of restraint becomes a revolution in the spirit. Chosen one, do not despise the power of these 3 days. They may seem quiet to the world, but in the spirit, they roar. Every moment of silence is recorded as warfare. Every withheld word is victory. Every breath of restraint is deliverance for your bloodline. This is why silence breaks curses, because silence starves the echo. When the enemy waits for your agreement, and you give him none, he loses his grip. And when you refuse to repeat the cycle, heaven rushes in to rewrite your story. Hold firm. Beloved, your silence is not in vain. It is undoing what generations before you could not overcome. And when the 3 days pass, you will stand as the one who broke the echo, the one who stopped the curse, the one who turned silence into freedom, chosen one. Lift your eyes and understand this. The first 3 days of September are not only a season where you are silent before men, they are also a season when heaven bends close to listen to you. Even when no sound leaves your lips, angels are drawn to silence because silence is sacred. It is in those moments of restraint that heaven leans in. You may not realize it, but your silence creates an atmosphere that draws witnesses. When you choose not to speak, when you close your mouth, though your heart is full, angels take notice. They do not gather around noise. They gather around obedience. The stillness you carry in those 3 days becomes like incense rising to the throne, and heaven records it as worship. Chosen one. Think of silence as a courtroom. In every courtroom, silence is demanded, for silence allows testimony to be heard clearly. In the first 3 days of September, your silence becomes your testimony. You may not speak, but heaven declares on your behalf, this one is faithful, this one is disciplined, this one belongs to the King. Lynn, the angels listen, not for your voice, but for your obedience. They hear the sound of silence, because silence is not empty, it is filled with spiritual weight. Every moment you refrain from careless words, your spirit speaks a language only heaven understands. Silence is not absence, it is presence in its purest form. Scripture confirms this reality in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 1. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. When you choose silence, you are dwelling in that shelter. You are positioning yourself under the shadow of the Almighty. And in that shadow, angels draw near, not to hear your noise, but to guard your obedience. Chosen one. Do you see the beauty of this? Silence becomes a language in itself. It tells heaven, I trust you. It tells angels, stand with me. It tells darkness, you cannot manipulate me. Your silence is a voice that roars without sound. It is a song of loyalty sung in a key the world cannot hear, but heaven cannot ignore. These first 3 days are days when angels are listening, not listening for complaints, not listening for arguments, but listening for the silence of obedience. And in that silence, they record your faithfulness. They become witnesses to your discipline, and they present it before the throne as evidence that you are marked. Do not think silence is small. The heavens move when chosen ones obey. Your silence may feel like nothing on earth, but in the spiritual, it is thunder. When you hold your tongue, angels mark it down. When you refuse to argue, they celebrate it as victory. When you turn away from noise, they prepare to guard the crown that is waiting for you. Beloved, remember that angels are ministers of fire. They are messengers, warriors, and witnesses, and they respond to those who align with heaven. In these first days of September, you are not alone in your silence. Angels surround you, shield you, and strengthen you. Even when no one on earth notices, heaven sees, and heaven records. But there is another layer to this mystery. When angels listen, they also prepare. They are not passive spectators. They are active participants in your destiny. Your silence signals to them that you are ready for new assignments, and they begin arranging the path before you. They fight unseen battles, open unseen doors, and silence unseen accusers, all because you stayed quiet when provoked. This is why you must not waste these days. To break silence carelessly is to waste the witness. To complain or argue is to turn away the angels who are leaning close. But to remain still, to endure the discomfort, is to welcome heaven's attention. Chosen one. Think of silence like a sacred meeting. Imagine a room filled with angels, watching closely, waiting to record your response. Every time you resist the urge to speak, they nod, they mark it down, they testify before the throne. This one is faithful. By the end of the third day, heaven has a complete record of your obedience, and the reward is prepared. Let this strengthen you. You are never unseen. The world may not care about your silence, but heaven does. Angels witness it. God delights in it, and your spirit grows through it. Do not despise this hidden obedience. It is precious beyond measure. Chosen one. Carry this revelation with reverence. These 3 days are holy because they attract heaven's witness. Your silence is not just discipline, it is testimony. Your silence is not just absence of words, it is evidence of faith. And when the angels listen closely, they carry your silence as worship before the throne of God. Chosen one. By now, you have understood the weight of silence, the shield of restraint, and the sacred witness of heaven. But there is another layer you must not ignore. The voice of the accuser. The enemy is cunning, and his favorite weapon is not always sickness, storms, or visible attacks. It is twisted words. He waits, crouching in shadows, eager to seize even the smallest syllable you release, turning it against you. From the beginning of time, the serpent has worked with language. In Eden, he did not strike Eve with force, he whispered, and he twisted. His question was simple, but it carried venom. Did God really say? And when Eve answered, he used her own words to sow doubt and rebellion. This is the pattern of the accuser. He cannot create, so he twists. He cannot build, so he manipulates. He cannot form weapons without raw material, so he waits for your words to supply him. This is why the silence of the first 3 days of September is not optional, it is critical. If you speak too soon, if you argue in anger, if you reveal what God has told you in private, the accuser seizes it. He drags it into the courtroom of the Spirit and says, "See, their words condemn them. See, they are unworthy. See, their tongue betrays their crown." Beloved, do not underestimate this. The enemy cannot read your mind. He cannot steal what you think. He watches your behavior and waits for your voice. Words become legal evidence in the unseen realm. This is why Jesus himself warned that by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Heaven records, and so does hell. Picture it this way. Every word is like a contract. Once spoken, it cannot be unsaid. The enemy comes like a cunning lawyer, searching for loopholes, pointing to phrases you let slip, using them to demand access to your life. But if you are silent, You give him no document to wave before the throne. Silence cancels the contract. Silence leaves the accuser empty-handed. This is also why gossip and complaining are so dangerous. They feel harmless in the moment, but they feed the accuser with evidence. Every complaint says, "I do not trust God." Every piece of gossip says, "Piece of division." The accuser takes these words and magnifies them. But when you stay silent, he is starved. He has nothing to use, no weapon to form, no voice to twist. The Book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 10 declares, "For the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled down." Notice, day and night he works, tirelessly seeking to accuse, but heaven has already prepared his defeat. Your role is to deny him access, to close the gate of your lips, to refuse him the evidence he craves. Chosen one. You may notice during these 3 days that accusations rise against you. People may bring up your past. They may question your motives. They might provoke you into defending yourself. But you must remember, your defense is not in your words. Your defense is in your silence. By refusing to respond, you silence not only the people but also the accuser behind them. And here lies the paradox. Silence speaks louder than words. When you do not answer accusations, heaven itself answers for you. God becomes your defender, and the enemy's voice grows faint. Your stillness becomes thunder in the spirit realm, declaring, "This one belongs to the Lord. This one's mouth is consecrated. This one cannot be manipulated." Beloved chosen one, I want you to pause here and take a prophetic step. Seal this truth, not just in your mind, but in your spirit. Write in the comments these 3 words: "Accuser is silenced." Why this declaration? Because by typing it, you step into agreement with heaven. You are proclaiming that no accusation, no twisted word, no legal ground of the enemy will prosper against you. You are saying, "My silence is my shield, and the voice of the accuser has no place in my destiny." This is not just words on a screen, it is a prophetic contract in your favor. Remember, chosen one, the accuser has no power except what you hand him. If you hand him words, he will build chains. If you starve him with silence, he collapses in defeat. These 3 days are your chance to flip the courtroom. Let the enemy come empty-handed. Let heaven record your obedience. Let silence be your verdict of victory. When the 4th day dawns and your voice is released, it will no longer be weak, it will be fire. Every word you speak then will not be twisted, because it will be consecrated. The accuser will tremble, for you passed the test. Your silence became your shield, and your shield became your crown. Chosen one, silence is not a void, it is a doorway. In those first 3 days of September, while your lips remain sealed, scrolls of heaven are being opened. They are not given to the careless or the noisy, but to those who have proven they can hold what is holy. Divine revelation is delicate, like fragile glass, and silence is the cushion that keeps it from shattering. You may have wondered why God sometimes seems silent when you ask for answers. It is not that he withholds because he does not love you. It is because some truths are too heavy to be placed in careless hands. Just as a general does not hand out battle plans to every soldier, God reserves his deepest strategies for those who can keep them. Silence in the first 3 days is your proof that you are trustworthy. It is the test before the revelation. Imagine a sealed letter, written long ago, waiting for the right moment to be opened. For years, it rests unseen, untouched. But at the appointed time, it is delivered. This is what is happening in September. As you hold your tongue, heaven places letters in your spirit, scrolls containing secrets, blueprints, instructions that will shape your next season. They are too holy to be spoken yet, but they are being written within you. Beloved, this is why your silence is so critical. Revelation is not given in the storm of noise, but in the calm of restraint. When the world is loud, you will miss it. But when you withdraw, when you keep still, you will feel it stir inside you, like a whisper only your spirit can hear. Remember the words recorded in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. The first 3 days of September are your appointed time. The revelation may feel slow, but it is not late. Your silence creates the womb for it to form. Chosen one, do you see how precious this is? Heaven is entrusting you with scrolls that cannot yet be shared. They are like seeds planted in hidden soil, waiting to sprout at the right season. If you speak them too early, you risk exposing them to the harsh winds of mockery or the theft of the enemy. But if you keep them sealed in silence, they will grow strong. And when the time comes, they will bear fruit that no one can deny. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a pregnant mother. In her womb is life, unseen, yet undeniable. She does not announce every day what is growing inside her. She protects it, nourishes it, and waits for the appointed time of birth. This is what your silence does. The scrolls of heaven are like unborn life within you. You are carrying something not yet visible, but destined to be revealed. Your silence is the womb. And here, beloved, let me pause to speak with sincerity. These messages you receive are also scrolls. They are not my words. They are seeds meant to awaken, strengthen, and guide you. And like any flame, they require oil to keep burning. When you choose to like and share, you are not simply clicking, you are spreading the light, ensuring others can receive what you now carry. Subscribing is more than following, it is returning to the well to drink again, showing heaven that you will not let the scrolls fall forgotten. And donating, yes. Even this is not about payment, but about partnership. Picture a field where a sower casts good seed. If you have eaten from its harvest, then giving is planting more seed for the next season, so that countless others can also be nourished. Think of a candle in a dark room. It flickers, but it pushes back shadows. Now imagine many candles lit together. Suddenly the darkness flees. When you share, subscribe, or you are not just keeping one candle alive, you are joining a movement of light. You are saying, this revelation must not stop with me. It must shine for others too. No, chosen one. Heaven's scrolls are never wasted. They are released in appointed times, and they always bear fruit. But you must protect them in silence until the hour comes. When you do, your life becomes living proof that revelation was real. Others will see the fruit and know it was heaven who planted it in you. So guard these days well. Treat your silence as sacred. Let the hidden scrolls write themselves into your spirit. And when the fourth day comes, and your voice is released, you will speak not from impulse, but from revelation. Your words will no longer be empty. They will carry the weight of heaven itself. Chosen one, you are not empty. You are pregnant with revelation. Guard it, protect it, and when the time comes, the world will see what heaven whispered in silence. Chosen one, silence is not only obedience, it is fasting. And in many ways, it is a deeper fast than food itself. Food feeds the body, and fasting from it humbles the flesh. But silence restrains the tongue, and fasting from speech purifies the spirit. The first 3 days of September are not just days of stillness, they are days of consecration through a fast of the tongue. When people think of fasting, they often think of empty plates, skipped meals, and the hunger of the stomach. But the hunger of silence is greater, for it touches the core of the soul. To hold back a word when it burns inside you is a sharper discipline than pushing away a meal. This is why silence is called a holy fast. It breaks the power of impulse. It starves the appetite of pride. It trains you to choose heaven's timing over your own. Scripture reflects this wisdom. The Apostle James wrote in his letter, chapter 1, verse 19, "Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." Notice the order: listen quickly, speak slowly. This is the essence of fasting the tongue. It is not about never speaking, but about restraining speech until it becomes aligned with heaven. During these 3 days, your silence will feel like hunger. You will feel the ache to respond, the urge to explain, the need to be understood. But that ache is your spirit being trained. Just as hunger pangs during a food fast remind you to pray, the tension of silence reminds you to surrender. The urge to speak is the very thing you are offering to God. Beloved, fasting food humbles the stomach. Fasting words humbles the ego. Food sustains the body. But words build or destroy destinies. When you fast food, you tell the flesh, "You will not control me." When you fast words, you tell the soul, "You will not dictate me." And when you fast both, you stand in double power. Think of silence as a cleansing river. Every withheld sentence, every unspoken argument is like water washing over your spirit. It clears away residue, resets your posture, sharpens your discernment. When you emerge from this fast, your voice will not only be lighter, it will be cleaner. Your words will no longer carry the dust of irritation, but the fragrance of holiness. Chosen one, do not despise the difficulty of this fast. It is supposed to feel unnatural. It is supposed to stretch you. For what is fasting if it does not cut into desire? But know this, every word you hold back is like incense rising before God. Every silence you endure is recorded as faithfulness. Every sigh you swallow is a seed of strength. And here is the mystery: while you fast your tongue, God is feeding your spirit. You may feel deprived, but heaven is pouring into you. In your silence, revelations form. In your restraint, wisdom grows. In your quiet, your spiritual appetite is sharpened. You will find that by the time you speak again, you are no longer the same. Your words will carry a different weight. Beloved, let me give you a picture. Imagine a bow being pulled back. The longer it is drawn, the greater the force when it is released. Your silence is that drawing back. Every unspoken word stretches you further. By the time you release your voice on the fourth day, it will shoot like an arrow into destiny, piercing through darkness with precision. Without silence, your arrow is weak. With silence, your arrow is unstoppable. This is why the first 3 days are holy. They are not wasted, they are invested. They are not barren, they are pregnant with power. They are the bowstring being drawn, the seed being buried, the lamp being filled. And though the fast of silence feels heavy, it is building strength you will need for what lies ahead. Chosen one, embrace this fast. Do not run from it. Do not break it with careless chatter. Treat your silence as sacred. Guard it as you would guard a treasure. For it is not only preparing your words, it is preparing your destiny. And when the fast ends, when your voice returns, it will not be ordinary. It will be the voice of one who has been tested, refined, and trusted. It will be a voice that carries heaven's authority. Chosen one. The silence of the first 3 days is not endless. Heaven does not call you into silence only to keep you quiet forever. No, silence is the preparation, the cleansing, the sharpening. But on the fourth day, your words return. And when they return, they no longer sound like before. They carry authority, fire, and weight, because they have been purified. Your first words after silence are not ordinary, they are prophetic. Think of a river held back by a dam. For days, the water builds pressure, quietly, invisibly. The force grows stronger. Then, when the dam is opened, the release is mighty, unstoppable, and directed. This is what happens when a chosen one breaks silence. The first words you speak after the fast of the tongue are like floodwaters. They reshape the land. They clear away obstacles. They water dry ground. This is why you must be intentional with what you say on the fourth day. Beloved, you cannot waste those words. They are too holy, too potent to scatter carelessly. If you open your mouth with complaints, you will pollute the river. If you waste them on gossip, you will diminish their force. But if you choose wisely, your words will build, heal, and decree destiny. Beloved, remember also your words are bridges. They either lead others into light or drag them deeper into shadow. When you speak after silence, see each phrase as a path laid before someone's feet, guiding them closer to freedom, healing, and truth. Remember what Jesus said in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 16. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. Your silence has prepared you for this. You are chosen, appointed, and now, on the fourth day, your words must bear fruit, not temporary fruit, but lasting fruit. Words that build foundations, words that carry the fragrance of eternity. Do you understand what this means? Chosen one, on the fourth day, when you break silence, you are not merely speaking, you are planting. Every sentence is a seed. Every declaration is a tree in the making. And because you endured the silence, those seeds will sprout quickly. The soil of your life has been cleansed, ready to receive. This is why the enemy fought so hard to provoke you during the first 3 days. He feared what would happen once your silence broke. He knew your words would carry weight. He knew your voice would echo with heaven's power. He tried to drag you into arguments, into careless chatter, so that your tongue would not be sharpened. But you resisted. And now, you are ready to speak with holy fire. Chosen one, on the fourth day, let your words be deliberate. Begin by blessing. Begin by declaring life over yourself, your family, your path. Speak healing. Speak restoration. Speak breakthrough. Let your first words be like arrows of light that pierce the shadows around you. Do not waste them on trivial things. Guard them as treasures and release them as weapons. Picture your words as a trumpet. For 3 days, it was silent, but when it finally sounds, armies rise, walls fall, and chains break. The sound is not noise, it is signal. Your words after silence are the signal of your breakthrough. Heaven has been waiting for your trumpet to sound. And here, beloved, I want you to seal this moment with a prophetic act. Comment the number 444 below. Do not treat it as digits, treat it as declaration. 4 is the number of completion and foundation. By writing 444, you are saying, my silence has ended. My foundation is secure, and I now speak with heaven's authority. You are marking the day when your words shifted from ordinary to prophetic. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing. Your silence aligned you. Your obedience refined you. And now your words define you. The number 444 is your seal, your reminder that you have crossed the threshold. Chosen one, do not be careless. Do not let this moment pass. Heaven is watching what you speak after silence. The angels who leaned close are waiting to carry your declarations like scrolls into the throne room. Speak life, speak light, speak love, and let your words be the trumpet of your destiny. You have been chosen not only to remain silent, but also to speak with purpose. The silence was your preparation. The words are your mission. And as you walk into the days after the 3rd of September, remember this: your silence broke chains, but your voice will build kingdoms. Chosen one, as the silence of the first 3 days settles across your life, something far greater is unfolding beyond your sight. While you obey heaven's command to restrain your tongue, the world around you begins to shake. A storm brews in hidden places, one that will rise and rage in the natural realm. Yet you, beloved, are set apart not to be consumed by it, but to stand as a witness within it. The gathering storm is not simply weather, it is the convergence of spiritual forces, cultural tensions, and unseen battles spilling into the physical world. September often marks the turning of seasons, both in nature and in spirit. It is a time when heaven's calendar shifts and the earth reacts. While many dismiss it as coincidence, the chosen recognize the trembling as birth pangs. Silence in these days is not withdrawal, it is preparation for what is to come. Consider how storms form in the natural. Heat rises, air collide, and suddenly the sky darkens. What looked calm a moment ago becomes chaos. This is also how storms gather in the spirit. Long-hidden conflicts reach a breaking point. Invisible battles begin to show visible effects. And those who are unprepared are swept away by the winds. But chosen ones, those who held silence, are not tossed about. They are like rooted trees, unshaken though the storm roars. The prophet Elijah experienced such a storm on Mount Carmel. The winds blew, the earth quaked, the fire burned, but the Lord was not in them. Only after the chaos came a gentle whisper, and Elijah heard the voice of God. This story is a mirror of what you face. The storm may rage, but God's voice is not in the noise, it is in the silence you carry. Scripture anchors this truth. The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 15 declares, "In repentance and rest is your salvation. In quietness and trust is your strength." Quietness is not weakness, it is power. Trust is not passivity, it is strength. In the storm, your silence becomes the anchor heaven uses to steady you. Beloved, while the world panics, you will not. While others argue, you will not. While fear spreads, you will rest. This is the separation of the chosen from the crowd. The silence you held in the first 3 days forms a shield around you in the days that follow. The gathering storm will expose those who are rooted and those who are shallow, and you, chosen one, are called to stand firm. But understand this, the storm is not random chaos. It is divine separation. Just as wheat and chaff are shaken in the wind, the storm shakes lives to reveal what is genuine. Those who trusted in noise will collapse in noise. Those who trusted in silence will endure in silence. The shaking is not to destroy you, it is to reveal you. Imagine a ship at sea. The waves rise, the winds howl, and fear spreads among the crew. Yet in the captain's cabin, there is stillness. The captain knows the vessel, understands the storm, and holds the course. You are that captain, chosen one. Others may fear, but you carry a silence that steadies. Your calm becomes their courage. Your silence becomes their shelter. Chosen one. Storms also cleanse. They wash away what is weak, what cannot endure, what was never rooted. They strip away branches that bore no fruit. The storm you see in the world is not only danger, it is also purification. When it passes, the air will be clear, the ground refreshed, the atmosphere reset, and you will stand, not broken, but renewed. Do not fear when the storm gathers. Do not lose heart when the winds howl. You are not like the rest. You were chosen to see beyond it. You were called to endure it, and you will not be consumed. For silence has prepared you to hear God's whisper amidst the thunder. Beloved, hear this clearly. Storms do not last forever. They pass. The sky clears. The sun breaks forth, and life returns. But those who endured in silence emerge, changed. They walk with authority, with peace, with testimony. And this is your portion. You will not only survive the gathering storm, you will carry wisdom through it. The first 3 days of September may look small, but they are the key to your strength in the days ahead. By keeping silence, you anchor yourself against winds you cannot yet see. By restraining your tongue, you secure your footing on ground that others will lose. And by obeying the whisper of heaven, you rise above the roar of the storm. Chosen one, let the storm come. Let it shake. Let it roar, for it cannot break you. You are hidden in silence, rooted in trust, covered by heaven. And when the gathering storm passes, you will still be standing, crowned with peace, carrying revelation, unshaken and unbroken, chosen one. Storms do more than cleanse. They also separate. Just as the wind shakes the wheat to loosen the chaff, so too do the first days of September draw a line between the obedient and the rebellious, between the true and the false. This is the mystery of silence. It is not just about you holding your tongue, it is about God watching to see who belongs fully to Him. There is a principle woven throughout Scripture. Separation always precedes elevation. Before Israel entered the Promised Land, they were separated from Egypt. Before Jesus began His ministry, He was separated in the wilderness. Before the disciples carried the gospel into the world, they were separated in the upper room. Silence is your separation. It is the mark distinguishing you from the noise of the crowd. The book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 30 speaks of this very mystery. Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned, then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn. In silence, you prove you are wheat, not weed. You are gathered, not discarded, chosen one. You must understand, many will not endure these 3 days. Some will dismiss it as foolishness. Others will break in the first hours. Unable to resist the itch to speak, their words will reveal their heart, and their heart will expose their allegiance. But you, your silence proves your loyalty. You are set apart, not because you are better, but because you are obedient. Separation is never comfortable. It feels like loneliness, like being misunderstood, like standing apart when all you want is to belong. But chosen ones are never called to blend in. Your silence in these days is a dividing line. While others chatter, you withdraw. While others argue, you hold peace. While others reveal their secrets, you guard your treasure. This separation is not punishment, it is consecration. Think of the refining of oil. To become pure, it must be pressed, filtered, and separated from impurities. The first 3 days of September are your pressing, your filtering. God is separating the oil of your anointing from the residue of your flesh, and once separated, you will burn brighter, cleaner, stronger. Separation also exposes those around you. When you keep silence, you will see who grows restless. You will notice who tries to provoke you, who demands your voice, who resists your obedience. These people reveal themselves in the storm of silence. Some are wheat, others are tares. Your restraint uncovers what noise once hid. Chosen one, do not grieve this separation. It may feel like loss when people step away or misunderstand you, but in truth, it is deliverance. God is cutting ties that could strangle your future. He is removing voices that would pollute your destiny. He is drawing a line so clear that no one can cross it without revealing who they truly are. And here is the beauty of it. After the separation comes the gathering. Wheat is gathered into barns. Tares are cast aside. The obedient are gathered into new levels of authority. The rebellious are left outside. Your silence in these 3 days ensures that when the gathering comes, you are found faithful, counted among the chosen, brought into the barn of destiny. Beloved, you must also know that separation precedes revelation. When Abraham separated from Lot, God said, "Lift up your eyes and see." When Moses separated from Egypt, God showed him his glory. on the mountain. When Jesus separated in the wilderness, angels came and ministered to him. Silence is your separation, and revelation will follow. So do not despise being set apart. The world will mock. Friends, my question: even your own thoughts may accuse you, but heaven celebrates. Heaven sees the silence as loyalty, and loyalty always draws favor. What feels like isolation is, in truth, intimacy with God. Chosen one. These 3 days are not small. They are the threshing floor of heaven. On this floor, God strikes the grain, shaking loose what cannot remain. And when the shaking is done, only what is pure, only what is chosen, only what is wheat will stand. You are that wheat. Your silence proves it. Your restraint reveals it. Your endurance confirms it. Let the separation happen. Do not resist it. Do not chase after what God removes. Do not fear the loss. For what is separated from you in silence was never meant to stay. Chosen one. This is the holy mystery. Silence is the sickle. Separation is the harvest. And you are the wheat gathered into the barns of God. Stand firm, for the line has been drawn, and you are found faithful. Chosen one. The silence of the first 3 days is not wasted effort. It is a crown in disguise. Every withheld word, every swallowed reply, every quiet act of restraint has been weaving a crown of authority around your spirit. And now, as you step out of those days, heaven places it upon your head, the crown of the obedient. Crowns are not given to the careless. They are not laid on the heads of those who refuse discipline. They are reserved for those who prove themselves faithful in the hidden battles. Your silence has been a battlefield, and you have emerged victorious. The crown you now wear is not made of gold alone. It is forged from patience, from humility, from obedience. Think of a tree that bends in the storm. While other branches snap, it remains rooted. When the winds pass, the tree stands taller, stronger, crowned with leaves that shine brighter in the sun. This is what has happened to you. You bent in silence. You endured in stillness. And now you rise, crowned with resilience. The Apostle Peter reminds us in the first letter of Peter, chapter 5, verse 10, "And the God of all grace, who called you to his glory, after you have suffered a while, will himself restore you and make you strong." Your silence was a little while of suffering, but your restoration is here. Strength is rising. Firmness is your foundation. Steadfastness is your crown. Beloved, crowns are not only symbols of victory, they are signals of authority. When a king or queen wears a crown, it tells the world, this one has passed the tests. This one has been entrusted with power. Your crown of obedience declares the same. It tells heaven, earth, and even the realm of darkness, this one cannot be shaken. This one has been trusted. This one carries authority. Now, let me speak sincerely. Messages like this are not noise. They are crowns in word-form treasures placed in your hands to remind you of who you are. But even crowns must be polished. Even treasures must be preserved. That is why your participation matters. When you choose to like and share, you are not just interacting, you are polishing the crown so its shine reaches others. When you subscribe, you are saying, I want to walk in this journey continually, not just once. And when you donate, You are adding jewels to the crown, ensuring it will be lifted high for others to see. Think of it like a lamp in a dark street. If one lamp glows, a small circle of light appears. But if many lamps are lit, the whole road becomes safe. Sharing this word is like lighting another lamp for someone else stumbling in darkness. Subscribing is ensuring your own lamp never burns out. And donating is pouring oil into the lamps so they do not fade in the night. And I ask you, chosen one, from the heart, if this message has placed strength in your spirit, do not keep it hidden. Let others see. Let others drink. Let others wear the crowns heaven has prepared. Your engagement is not just support, it is partnership with heaven. Crowns also carry weight. They are not just ornaments, they are responsibilities. The crown of obedience you now wear will demand that your words carry wisdom, your steps walk in purpose, and your life shine as an example. This is not to burden you, but to honor you. Heaven only crowns those who can carry, and your silence has proven you can. Beloved, take a moment to reflect. How many battles have you fought with your tongue? How many times has silence been harder than speaking? Yet here you are, having endured. And now heaven celebrates you. That is why I ask you to honor this crown, polish it by sharing, preserve it by subscribing, strengthen it by sowing. This way, your crown does not only bless you, it blesses many. And now, one final act for you. Comment these 3 words below. Crown of obedience. By writing this, you are sealing what heaven has already placed upon you. You are declaring, I will wear it. I will protect it. I will walk in it. And your comment becomes a testimony to others who may still be in the test, reminding them that the crown awaits. Chosen one. Crowns are not cheap. They are forged in fire. They are polished in silence. They are worn in glory. Yours is ready, and it shines. Wear it boldly, carry it humbly, and let the world see in your life what heaven already knows. You are crowned. You are chosen, and you are ready. Chosen one. The silence of the first 3 days is not the end of the journey. It is the preparation for what comes after. When September's dawn breaks beyond that threshold, your voice will carry a new weight. Your words will not be the same, because silence has forged them into weapons of light. Every sentence you release after this consecrated pause will open doors, shift atmospheres, and break chains. Do you realize the power of this? Before, your words may have been scattered, like seeds cast on rocky ground. Some took root, many did not. But now, after silence, your words will fall like arrows into precise targets. They will pierce what needs to be pierced and heal what needs to be healed. Silence has sharpened your tongue into a tool of heaven. Beloved, imagine a sword in the forge. The blacksmith heats it, hammers it, cools it, then returns it to the fire, over and over. The process repeats until the blade is strong, sharp, and unbreakable. This is what the first 3 days have done to you. They have placed you in the forge of silence. And now, on the other side, your voice is no longer dull. It is a sharpened blade, ready for battles that once would have overwhelmed you. The book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 17, describes this mystery clearly. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Notice the word is a sword. but a sword must be wielded with care. Silence has been your training, teaching you restraint, so that when you do speak, you strike with precision, not recklessness. Chosen one. Many underestimate the power of their words. They speak casually, not realizing they are opening or closing doors with every phrase. But you will be different. Your words after the 3rd of September will carry the force of prophecy. When you declare blessing, it will manifest. When you decree freedom, chains will fall. When you command healing, restoration will follow. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. Your tongue has been aligned with heaven. Consider the power of atmosphere. Walk into a room where people argue and you feel heaviness. Walk into a room where someone speaks peace and the air shifts. Your words will now do this wherever you go. You will walk into spaces heavy with confusion, and your voice will clear it, like sunlight breaking fog. You will enter circles bound by doubt, and your declarations will plant seeds of faith. But understand, with power comes responsibility. The tongue that carries authority must also carry wisdom. You cannot scatter your words as before. You cannot waste them on trivial chatter or empty noise. To do so would be like using a sword to cut bread. It diminishes its purpose. Your silence has taught you discipline, and that discipline must remain. Chosen one. There will be times when you are tempted to speak rashly again. But remember the forge you endured. Remember the days when you said nothing, when your silence spoke louder than your words. Let that memory restrain you. Do not let your sword grow dull again. Think of your words as keys. Some doors in your life have been locked for years. Doors of opportunity, doors of restoration, doors of destiny. On the 4th day, your words become keys in your hands. But keys must be used wisely. You cannot unlock every door at once. You must listen for heaven's guidance. Speak here, not there. Declare now, not later. The chosen are not careless with their keys. They are strategic. Beloved, your new voice is not only for you, it is for others who cannot yet speak for themselves. Some are too weary, too broken, too bound. When you speak after silence, your words will lift them. You will find yourself declaring strength over the weak, light over the lost, freedom over the bound. Your words will become shelter, your voice a refuge. And here lies the wonder. Your silence was private, but your voice will be public. No one may have noticed your restraint in those hidden days, but everyone will notice the authority in your speech afterward. That is how God works. He tests in private, then honors in public. Chosen one. Treasure this gift. Guard your tongue. Even after the 3 days, speak life, not death. Declare hope, not despair. Release blessing, not bitterness. For your words are no longer ordinary, they are instruments of heaven. And as you step forward, the world will see it. They will not understand the silence you endured, but they will not be able to deny the power in your voice now. Chosen one. The silence of the first 3 days has accomplished its work. You are not the same as when you entered. The furnace of restraint has refined you. The discipline of silence has crowned you. And now you rise not as one hidden, but as one revealed. September is not simply another page on the calendar. It is a doorway, and you step through it, transformed. You may not feel different in the eyes of men, but heaven knows the shift. Your obedience in silence has marked you. The unseen realm now recognizes you as one who cannot be easily shaken. Angels bear witness of your faithfulness, and the enemy trembles, for he has lost the chance to twist your words. You emerge from silence, clothed in authority, carrying a crown unseen yet undeniable. Chosen one. Hear this clearly. You are unshakable. The storms may roar, but you will not fall. You are unstoppable. Obstacles may rise, but your path is already ordered. You are crowned, not because of your perfection, but because of your obedience. The silence forged something within you that nothing can take away. Consider the words in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. These words now rest upon you. The silence was your night. The dawn is here. You arise. You shine, not by your own strength, but by the glory of the Lord that rests upon you. Chosen one. Silence was your preparation, but shining is your destiny. The first 3 days separated you, refined you, and proved you. Now, in the days ahead, you will walk differently. Your steps will be steady. Your words will be fire. Your presence will carry weight. Where before you blended in, now you will stand out, not in arrogance, but in radiance. Do not fear this light. It is not a spotlight of the world, but a mantle from heaven. It is not for your glory, but for His. Your silence made room for God's voice to settle in you. And now when you speak, when you move, it will be His light that shines through. Chosen one. You may feel the weight of responsibility. To be chosen is not always easy. It requires courage. It demands sacrifice. And it often leads you along paths few will understand. But remember, the silence already trained you for this. If you endured those 3 days, you have the strength for the rest of the journey. Imagine a runner preparing for a race. They train in private, unseen, pushing their limits. On the day of the race, the crowd only sees the victory, not the hidden discipline. In the same way, your silence was your training. The world will see your fruit, but heaven knows your roots, and roots are what sustain you through every season. Beloved, September will not be free of challenges. Storms will still come. Opposition will still rise. But you are not entering them as before. You are entering clothed in silence-forged strength. Your authority is greater, your discernment sharper, your faith deeper. You will see the storm differently, because now you carry the peace of one who has been tested and approved. This is why you must walk with confidence, not hesitation. Do not question if you are ready. You proved it in silence. Do not doubt if you are chosen. You endured what many could not. Do not hide your light. Heaven has set you apart for this very moment. Chosen one. You are not just surviving September, you are leading it. You are not just enduring storms, you are speaking peace into them. You are not just receiving crowns, you are wearing them with humility and purpose. Your silence made you strong. Your obedience made you radiant. Now, you arise as one marked, one separated, one crowned. Take courage. The silence was temporary, but the authority it birthed is permanent. The first 3 days tested you, but the rest of the month will reveal you. And as you walk forward, remember always, You are unstoppable, unshakable, unbreakable because you are chosen, beloved chosen one. You have walked with me through this entire journey, from the first whisper of silence to the revelation of crowns, storms, and destiny. You now stand on the other side, refined, separated, and clothed with authority. The first 3 days of September were never just about quiet. They were about transformation. You endured. You listened. You obeyed. And heaven has marked you forever. But remember this, light is not meant to be hidden. The word that strengthened you today may be the very word that rescues someone else tomorrow. When you like and share, you are not merely clicking a button, you are carrying the flame to another heart that feels cold and lost. Subscribing ensures that you remain connected to this, returning again and again for living water. And donating, beloved, is not about money, it is about oil. Oil keeps the lamp burning. Oil ensures that this light does not fade, but shines brighter for the many who are still stumbling in the night. I ask you with sincerity, do not leave this word unsealed. Let heaven see your response. Comment below as a testimony of what you've received. Let others read and be encouraged by your faith. Every act, whether sharing, subscribing, solving, or commenting, is a declaration, I am chosen, and I will not walk this journey alone. Oh, chosen one, you are crowned, you are covered, you are called. The silence prepared you. Now the light carries you forward. Walk boldly, shine brightly, and let the world see through you the glory of the one who chose you.